Hello guys and welcome to Painting Panzers. Today we're going to be changing the name slightly. We will be painting some Punics, now specifically some Numidians, and this is a video that's been requested by one of my Panzer races, so I couldn't let him down. I've finally got around to filming it and editing it and everything else, so I do hope he finds this one enjoyable. So we're going to be looking at some Numidians. I've already covered a few Carthaginians as well as Romans, and if you haven't seen those, please do go check them out. You'll be able to see my playlist with all this epic battle range stuff that we've covered already. That's also including some American War of Independence stuff as well. So we've covered quite a bit, but today we're going to be adding even more to that by covering these Numidians. Now, if you'd like to grab the figures in question, you can find them at the Warlord Games website under Epic and Hail Caesar, and there you'll find a range of Romans and Carthaginians and all their allies. And I do have an affiliate link that I would really love for you to use if you're purchasing anything through Warlord Games. That'd be great. Now, to start off with, I give my figure a coat of Tamiya Surface Primer Light Grey, and then I proceed to paint some of his clothing in Deck Tan. Now I'm going for like a white sort of, I don't know, garment would probably be the best word for it. But you could do also like a khaki as well if you want to mix up the different shades of sort of clothing that this guy's wearing, but I'm going to go with white just to make it very easy. So I'll start with Deck Tan. Then for any of the wooden items, I'm going to be painting those in flat earth. So we can see this guy's got his spear facing down, so it's not going to be doing too much damage until he angles that obviously towards the Romans. But for now, we're going to be painting that in flat earth. And then we can see that there's some spears hidden behind that shield too. So his shield is made up of animal hide. So I'm going to be painting this particular one in old wood. And it's like giraffe fur, I believe, that's on, or like skin that is on some of the shields, as well as like zebra patterns and stuff. So we're going to go with a giraffe scheme for this one, and I'm painting the entire shield in that color. Then for the metal areas, I'm going to be using basalt grey, so obviously the tip of his spear. If you had a sword, for example, or a little knife, I'll be painting in that color. And just getting the tips of the spears there as well. Now the big question is, what sort of skin tone do you go for in Numidians? And obviously, being, you know, an African country, we want to probably be going with more of a darker skin tone. So we're going to be going with German camo medium brown for that one. And the detail on these figures is great, but the actual muscles and stuff is really quite good for the size and that. They've got the muscles in the leg and such, so it's really well done by the sculptor. Now for the hair, I'm going to be painting that in black, and he's got like a quite long bit of hair on him actually, so just make sure you're capturing as much as you can, be as tight as you can be. I'm using a size 0 brush here. Now I'm going to give the figure, once it's dry, a coat of normal oil and Lafmia medium at a 1:1 ratio. And I'm just going to give it a nice coat in there. And you can see straight away that that wash isn't super sharp like you would imagine a black wash to be, but it does go nice and dark in the recesses, which is what you want. Now for his garment, I'm going to be painting that in white grey. So you can see there's lots of little creases and folds and stuff. So you just want to make sure you're not painting in the recesses, so all those little dark areas where the little grooves and such that the folds create. So you want to be getting those nice raised areas and really start bringing that garment into play. But you can see I'm leaving the belt in that Deck Tan color. Then for the spear, I'm going to be going over that in flat earth. And I'm really just using the side of the brush here. I'm not really using it in its traditional form. I'm using the side of it because I want to just sort of dry brush it on in a way, but it's not a dry brush because I'm not wiping off all the excess paint, but there's not a lot of paint on the tip of my brush. And you can see I'm doing the same with old brown now, and this is what's going to highlight this wood. And you can see I'm just doing a few little lines up and down, and just making that wood really pop. Look how much that wood pops when you've got some old orange brown on there. Just really stands out so much better. Just getting in all the nice details there. of all the, I think this guy's got 3 spears. Okay, so for the giraffe like skin pattern, we're going to be going with old wood again. You can see that I've got a bit of old wood, but I've sort of watered it down a touch, and I'm just putting it in there but giving it like an irregular sort of pattern. And then I'm getting the rest of that old wood and I'm detailing the back of his shield, so the little handle he's got there and the rest of the shield on the back. Now I'm creating irregular looking like rectangles, very similar to rectangles, but they're not quite rectangles obviously. You've got to look at photos on Google of giraffe patterns, and they're like these little like rectangular square looking things, but that, you know, they're not quite right, squares and such, and just do something similar to what you see on screen, and that gives you sort of like a giraffe feel to it. Now, I'm not sure how common this was, it's probably completely inaccurate, but I'm going to be painting the outer edge of the shield in gold. Now, I'm not sure how much gold the Numidian skirmishers would have had, or bronze. There's probably more bronze than gold, but gold just makes it stand out a little bit better in my opinion. Now, for the metal areas, I'm going to be using Stormhost Silver from Citadel, and I'm just going to be painting each part of any metal area in this particular silver color, but any silver color will do the job perfectly fine. It's just I prefer my Citadel paints when it comes to metallic colors. So for the skin, I'm going to be using German Camo Medium Brown for my first layer, and I'm going to be pretty much painting all of his skin again, but just leaving the dark base color that's been washed in the recesses. So that's within the eye sockets, around the edge of the nose, perhaps the mouth if you can see it, between the fingers, any muscles, between any muscles that you can see. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. You should be able to work that one out. And then following that up, it's beige brown for the highlights. So that's just picking out the raised muscles, each individual finger and thumb, little part of the hand, the nose, just underneath the eye socket, the chin. You see the back of the calves there. So then there we have it. That is how I paint my Numidians. A very quick run through because there's really not much to them, especially these skirmishers. Perhaps I've cheated, I should have done some cavalry, but really, you know, there's not going to be much difference between this and them riding a horse. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. This was a request from one of my Panzer races, which he has requested for quite some time now, so I've left him hanging long enough and I thought I'd get it done. So Oscar, this one is specifically for you. I hope you've enjoyed it, buddy, and I hope the rest of you have also enjoyed it. A massive thank you goes out to Warlord Games for sending me out this sprue, as well as the rest of my YouTube channel members and patrons. You guys are all legends, and I cannot forget my Panzer races. So that's Patrick, Oscar, Panzer Jim, Colin, James, Mikey, Mike, Lack of Foresight Gaming, and Eric. You guys are absolute champions. Thank you so much for supporting me as those aces. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. If you'd like to see any other epic stuff, let me know in the comment section, and until then, I will catch you at the next one.